Hello everyone, my name is Zyna. I'm your host on The Waiting Room with Zyna, and I'm also the author of Zyna's Waiting Room. Have you got your copy? If you haven't, please DM us so we can help you get one. This book gave rise to this talk show, and as you can see, we have come to the end of our season 1. And we promised you that we'll be coming up with another special edition. And this special edition, starting today, is what we call the Waiting Room with Zyna special edition. So this is the episode 1 of the special edition. This particular topic that we took to start with is adoption, because it's the most talked about based on our first season. We want to start with it. And we don't just want to discuss here, we want to take it out there. So we've been out there, we've met some people, and they've told us what they think about this topic, adoption. I want you to take a look at what we found on the street from Lagos, from Port Harcourt, and Abuja. And I'll be right back.
Adoption simply means when the couples are looking for children for a number of years, and the only alternative they have is to get adopted a son from a particular home or a particular hospital.
From my own opinion, child adoption is a process of adopting a child, like in the case of people who could not bear children, their biological children of their own. So going out of a way, either through adoption or other means, to have children that they can call their own, of which they are not biologically their children.
One thing I understand about child adoption is you trying to parenting a child that is not yours. Or some do it out of self-love though, but some do it out of ignorance.
Okay, guys. Okay, so first of all, I've come to understand that Nigerians don't even understand what adoption means. So from the get-go, you still hear some more. People don't even understand. First of all, some are saying it's abduction. Some are saying it's adoption. So many things they are saying. The right word is adoption, not abduction. Abduction is when you hold somebody against their will. That's something else. But adoption, it is the voluntary taking in of a child belonging to another as your own, legally. That is a simple definition of adoption. Taking in somebody else's child as your own legally. You must not forget the word legally. It is not taking somebody else's child and raising them for them. That's your sister's child coming to live. No. Adoption has to end with legally. Okay, so let's keep watching.
Someone can adopt a child. Depends on the two parental parents. If they agree on one thing, they can go on and adopt a child. But when they find out that maybe adopting that child will become a problem or in the house, there is something they bring out now they call IVF. You understand? Maybe if two of them agree to, they can go for that.
If you can be able to take care of that child, you can adopt a child, you understand? But if you know that you cannot be able to adopt a child, don't adopt.
Well, my own personal opinion is that it's good for couples to adopt. Make them adopt, because through the adoption of that baby, another one will come. God will help them, give them their own.
Okay, so here's another thing I'm also getting from people. They don't understand what adoption is. At the end of the program, I'm going to really go down to explain and, try to define it, because we've defined it over and over. You can also go to our season 1 and watch, because there are places we talked about adoption. We even brought someone from a ministry of children welfare and all of that handles this. We brought her on, and she was on the show, and she took her time to explain it. So you can go and listen to that one. But I will still go on and tell you from my own point of view here what it takes to adopt in Nigeria, the proceedings as it is legally. So people don't understand what adoption means, and I need us out there to understand that you can go online and find these things out. It is not just taking on a child and because you didn't have one, or if you have, Adoption can be for people who even have children. It doesn't have to be because you don't have children. And it's not something you do so that you can have children. Because if it's something you do so you can have children, you put a lot of pressure on the poor innocent child. What if the child comes into your life and you don't end up having children, or you don't get pregnant? You're going to term that child a witch. So please, it is not something, it's not a quick fix. Okay, I don't have children, let me just adopt so that God will smile on me and give me one. It may happen. A lot of people have experienced it like that. It may also not happen. So please, that's not a quick fix. Adoption is because you want to take care of another. It doesn't have to do with people who have children or not. People who have children still adopt. People who don't have are the ones that we are even saying you need it more. Okay, let's keep watching.
Most women of nowadays, some of them, they are always worried. You know, they've been with their husband for the past more than 20 years. They are not pregnant. Some of them, the husband and wife, they might sit down to discuss about it, whether they should go and adopt a child. To my own opinion, if I should wait like that, you know, sometimes it used to cause a woman to be depressed, to have hypertension, too much thinking. I and my husband might sit down, we discuss about it, that we should go to a motherless home to go and adopt a child. When I adopt the child, I'll take care of the child.
Okay, she said something, go to a motherless home and adopt a child. Well, it's part of it, but it is not all of it. You go to the state government, wherever you are residing, whatever state in Nigeria, they know what they call it. Some call it, just basically called the welfare agency in a state government. So you go to that state government and find out where they are and then do the proceedings. Some call it Ministry of Child and Women's Affairs, some call it Ministry of Youth and Social Development, different names for different states, but find out where it is. That is where you go to. Of course, they will refer you to a motherless baby's home or an orphanage. They refer you to an orphanage to go and find out if there are even children. But some of these states have their own motherless babies' homes or orphanages. So when they have those, they refer you to their own. But some states who don't have, they refer you to the private ones, and then you go get information and come back to the state. So if you go to an orphanage home and pick up a child, you have not completed adoption. You've only gone to buy a baby, because they don't have the power to give you that child. They work with the government. The government of the state is the one that has the power to give you that. So make sure you get that right.
There's nothing wrong with it. Yeah, because those are actually lovely kids out there. So some of them, you know, they are out of one or two situations that put them into those places. So for couples having to adopt children, when most times you see some couples who are actually giving birth, they still want to adopt. But for those who don't even have, there's nothing wrong with it. Personally, I feel there's nothing wrong with it.
What I understand by adoption is people who have been living, couples who have been living together for quite some time after marriage. No child, nothing comes up. So by virtue of that, you see some of them go to the hospital to adopt a child.
Okay, that's another misconception. First of all, it says abduct. It's not abduct, it's adopt. And you don't go to the hospital. Please, you have nothing to do in the hospital to adopt a child. If we catch you in a hospital with a child that you didn't give birth to, you have just gone to buy a baby, we're going to arrest you and take care of that in court. So please, that's not where you go to.
You don't have to have a baby in your womb before you call them your children. By special grace of God, there are so many children I trained. They are not my children. I have my biological children, but I took care of other people's children too. And today, so many of them are graduates and they are well to do. Okay, so all these young people suffering here and there, they should just make up their mind, any of the option. And Nigeria should be well educated about it. There is no shame adopting a child. As I am now, if you bring children for me to adopt, I have money, I will adopt them out to my biological children. There is nothing bad about it.
Thank you, ma. God bless you. This woman reminds me of my mom. You know, she took care of a lot of other people's children. My mom never officially adopted. And for those of you who are in the business of taking care of other people's children, it is good. But if you want them to be your children, you must adopt. I heard a story last week about a friend, not close friend, but friend circle of. She's in my circle. Let me put it that way. So this lady has been going around with a little girl we all thought was her baby. Apparently, somebody had abandoned the child at birth or so, and she picked up this child and took care of her. We were all calling the child her handbag. I just heard last week that the father also of that child surfaced from nowhere and took away this child from her. This child she has trained for the past 6 or 7 years. That child should be about 8 years old now. They've come to take that child away from her. They abandoned this child and she took that child in. If someone had advised her, what she should have done is to, at that point that she found that girl and decided to raise her, to go to the police to first of all document that this child was found abandoned. Then the police will go and do their do their investigation. They do the investigation. When they ascertain that, they will put out a notice and all of that. When they find out that that child was actually abandoned and there was nobody coming to claim, there's a way they go around it. When they finish doing their work, now she doesn't even need to go to an orphanage home since she had already picked up that child. All she needs is between her and the police and the ministry. So she would have gone to the state ministry to lodge in this complaint as well. So they will help her and legalize adoption. This wouldn't have happened if she had done that. So please, if you're in the business of picking people from the street and taking care of them, unless you don't mind, but I don't know how I will feel after investing my 6-7 years of love, not just money, affection, in a child. Somebody comes and takes them away from me. It's like losing your child. So please, don't expose yourself to such things. All right, let's keep watching.
I advise couples to go for adoption if the time is right, or if they feel okay, I am my husband or I am my partner, we are emotionally ready, mentally ready, financially ready. And adoption is good. You are also in a way taking these homeless kids off the streets. You go around, you see kids are being thrown in the toilet, in the dustbin. These mothers, they don't want them due to so many reasons. So you're also being a mother, even if you didn't push them out of your body.
Children are children, and they are all from God, because I'm a Christian. Adoption is very okay, because those babies are the motherless babies' home. They need someone to take care of them. And if you say because this is not my biological child, I cannot take care of a child, you are wrong. Or everybody needs someone to take care of. Because when you have a baby, you feel less depressed. It's not compulsory you must give birth. The people in the Western world don't even believe in carrying baby. They believe in if they see a child they can take care of the kid, they take care of the child. Okay. And if you are loved by the child and if you love the child, that is all.
Can I just give that guy a double thumbs up? I mean, first of all, I'm impressed that a young person is thinking that way. That means there's hope for us. Because sometimes when I talk to the older ones, the way they go about, well, during the course of this special edition, you get to see a lot more reactions from people on this subject. You will be shocked at what people out there are thinking. So that's why we decided to bring this Vox Pop edition to you. So you get to see and know and hear by yourself what is out there. We are here to just change impressions, correct the misconceptions that are going on around this thing. Western world, yes, they don't see it as badly as we do, but they also started from somewhere. Some people keep telling me, this is Nigeria, leave this thing, this is Africa. But if we don't start talking, then how do we get to change it? Because the Western world didn't just wake up and it happened like that. Somebody started that conversation, and when they started talking about it, doing something about it, obviously people started seeing and changing their mindset, and there they are where they are now. So we are supposed to get on to catch up with them. We have to start talking. That's why this program comes to you. So keep watching.
Once you take care of a life, you are also, God is reflecting in you, because this is the essence of everything. Yes, a life needs to live, and a life needs to be taken care of. So just go ahead. Go ahead. You don't need to even look at anything. You're not giving birth. It's nothing. It's just destiny. You shouldn't take it as if you're a bad omen, or no. You should just believe that, okay, this is what God has already destined me to be, and this is how God says I should, and just do it.
Again, another double thumbs up. We have to start talking. People, we need to talk more about this thing. That you didn't give birth biologically, it's not the end of the world. There are people who gave birth and all their children are dead and they're still alive. Which one is more painful? See, taking care of another person's child, it's unless you don't think you have love. But if you're a human being, you are created in the image of God. And if God is love, you are love as well. There is no way you don't have that love. You just need to understand it and, get into that mind zone area where you allow God to work through you. The essence of life, like this young man just said, is in giving life to other people. And that life, that shelter, that that experience you give to another person's child, that is it. That's what love is all about. That's what God has sent us here to do. It's not about you, it's about what you do for others. So let's watch and hear what this auntie has to say.
Be committed to serving the Lord in anything you're doing. Trust me, adoption is not an issue because most of the family most especially in Africa, Nigeria to be precise, adoption is not it because trust me, God forbid today, anything happen tomorrow, they will still call the child, even though when the both parents are, they will still call, the family member will be the one to call the child a bastard. Adoption is not the issue. But before the adoption, please let the both family, both the husband, the wife, come in agreement and let them make sure that the husband himself, particularly his family, will stand and as in take the child in, because some family will end up adopting the child and the child will end up suffering. And in the other way around, sometimes when you adopt, it's open way based on how you take care of the baby. Some children, when you adopt them, they're open way for you, but how do you take care of them matters. Whatever you're looking for, if adoption is, maybe if you're a couple out there, you think adoption is the next step for you, is the final option, please, when you adopt that child, love the child and treat the child as your own. Trust me, at that process, God will open your womb.
Okay, so I agree with this woman a lot because she's just stating the obvious. She's telling us what is happening. Do I agree 100% and say that's the way it should be? No. But is that how it is? Yes, in most cases. People adopt children, and if something happens to them, what happens? The family will swoop in and say, you're not our brother's child, you're not our brother's son, especially when you adopt a baby boy, and they're like, that's not our lineage, and they come in. So what do I have to say about that? When you adopt a child, make sure you secure their future. Don't think you'll be here forever. Nobody prays to die, but it happens. So there are things you can do. Insurance, stock up money in the insurance for this child. Make sure you legalize everything you're keeping for that child. Buy properties in their name, secure their future. Make sure you have, legal representatives who will take care of this child. Trust funds and stuff like that. Buy properties in their name and make sure that lawyers are handling it. Not just one mushroom child and bail lawyer somewhere. I'm talking about legal firms, people who know what they are doing. Okay, so make sure you have trust funds and all that to secure their future. And of course, if you adopt a child, your body language tells your family what to also say or do. If you adopt a child and you are tiptoeing around your family, making them feel that you are less than them, you are the one giving them the opportunity to talk to you anyhow or talk to your child anyhow. Nobody can. They never born your mama, like come to my family or come to my house and harass my kid. Who are you? So you must make that clear. You have chosen to take this child as your own. Anybody that does not accept that child as your own, cut them off. Mother, father, whoever, in-law, whatever, cut them off. While if they are wise enough, let me not use the word in my head. They are wise enough to reveal themselves to you while they are still alive. Their opinion about this child and is negative, cut them off. Let the child know that this auntie, this uncle is not welcome around. Like if you see them on the road, run. Make that clear, because these are the people I've seen. And today is not the episode I'll be talking about what I've seen in the name of adoption, what they have done to people who were legalized though, but because they were not protected. So protect your child. That's what this lady is trying to say. And she said another thing that's important. Husband and wife must agree. Okay. There's also this thing going on. You must have heard it from other people. If you take care of the child well, God will open your way. That child is not a medicine to open your womb. That child is not a fertility drug to open your womb. If God opens your womb to have, fine. If He doesn't have, happen, fine. But do not bring in a child, an innocent child, and put the pressure on that child that this child I've brought you, I will buy you Christmas clothes, I'll buy you ice cream and lollipop, you must give me my child. They are not owing you. So if you are not ready to adopt, don't go there. Don't go and punish an innocent child. Taking in another is because you want to take in another, not because of what you want to get. Is a selfless act you do. And the people that have also gone into it and gotten children is based on how they've treated them, and yes, and God may have smiled on them and given them, but that act shouldn't be taken from the point of view of once I take in a child, I will have one. Let's keep watching.
It's something anybody can go into. You don't even need to wait like you don't have a child for you to adopt. You can have a child and you want more children, but you don't want to give birth. Probably because you have complication or you just don't want to give birth. Or of course, what's the reason of getting more children when there are others that need help? So for me, adoption is okay.
I hope you heard her. Adoption is not just because you don't have children. You may have children. You may even be married and not want to carry. At least we need to understand. They keep telling me, Zyna, don't say that one. This is Africa. What's that? What's Africa? Are you in my womb? If I have a medical complication and I don't want to go and put my life, through that danger of carrying, and I choose to adopt, nobody should look down on me. Nobody should look down on you. And you should not let people look down on you because of that choice. If you make that choice, it's a good choice and stick by it. Okay, so if you choose to adopt and not really go and biologically have children, it is something that you can do as well. Okay, let's keep watching.
Abortion is good though, and is not good. If you go it, why I say is good is not good. You can see many people now, they are doing it, they are not going in rightful way. So we go, but if you do that adoption in rightful way, in a legal way, it will be more better than in a way you will see, because all those things is making all these adults now, all these coming adults, they are doing nonsense. Once they notice that they are pregnant or this thing, they will now go and look for mostly all these big men, they are the one doing it. Burn it, pay me my cash, go. It's very bad. God is not happy about that. But once you know that you are really a child, or that you really want to have, that is, you don't want to wait for that rightful time, you want to adopt, what you can do, you go to orphanage home, go through the process and have your baby. Nobody will tell you this is not your baby or it's not, because it's your baby. You make you give the child home.
Okay, so let me just address what this lady said. She said it's good and it's not good. So I let me explain what she meant by that. It's good if you have the right intention and you go about it the right way. Then she also said what is not good about it, which is going to buy babies, because that's what they do. Going to most of these young girls, when they carry and they find themselves pregnant, of course they know they can't take care of the child, and they now go and meet someone that knows someone that knows someone, and they say, okay, let her just have the baby. They will settle her with money and they will carry the child. Meanwhile, madam in the house will pretend that she has traveled, that she was pregnant, and she will wear prosthetics, and she will just fake and tell people fake news that she was pregnant, because they're anticipating the baby is coming in the next 6 months. And then when the baby comes, they will hide and carry the baby inside and say she has delivered. You are lying. You are tampering with somebody's destiny. Okay, so don't do that. Go about it the right way. Even if that lady has promised to give you the child, you can still go to the ministry. Okay, if you don't know how to go about it, you can DM us. We can show you how. Just go to the ministry and let them know that this is what you want to do. They will help you legalize it. Because trust me, that lady you are paying 500,000, 1 million naira today so that she can keep quiet and go away, she will come back for more. It's happening. She will come back for more. She will go and grab the father of the child, and then that one will come and say nobody told me, because there's no legal documentation, there's no police report, there's nothing. They will come back for you. They wait for you when the child is 5. Be celebrating now for social media. They are coming for you. Then all of the secrets that you've been trying to keep. So please, let's not do that. Do the right thing.
I think a lot of people should start adopting, because as of Nigeria, know they like adopt. They don't like adopting, but that's our country. They love adopting because there are a lot of people that need love, like those small children that lost their parents or don't even know who their parents is or don't even know what love is. So I think it's good that people learn to adopt. You understand? So those children can experience those love.
You don't even need to wait like you don't have a child for you to adopt. You can have a child and you want more children, but you don't want to give birth. Probably because you have complication or you just don't want to give birth. Or of course, what's the reason of getting more children when there are others that need help? So for me, adoption is okay.
Adoption is not bad. Okay, I think it's a means in which a couple that didn't have a child can as well feel the impression or have a child on their own with due process. Okay, but the only thing I advise people is that I think government made it there's a procedure in which you can actually go through to adopt a child. Not illegal abduction. When you adopt illegally, it's wrong. But when you follow the due process in which the government opened up for every other person to go for, I think it's the right thing. There's nothing bad about it.
Adoption is not something that is so welcome. Sometimes it comes with stigmatization, but in other advanced countries like outside Africa, it's a very welcome something. But the way it is taken in Nigeria and Africa is actually not too welcome, because sometimes the child will grow up having this stigma that people will be thinking that is inferior to the biological member of the family, which is not good, which is not right. But it's a very good thing if Africans can have a good sense of it, because it's actually a good thing, because everyone originated from somewhere and all of us are human beings.
Every children deserve a parent. So you can pick one and just show them love. Who knows, God might actually bless you from that way.
It's not good because you don't know the particular sperm that provide the baby, you understand? But if you believe in God that one day God will answer your prayer, one day God will open your wife's womb, one day God will make your sperm to be active again, you must have a baby, because in the Bible, God opened someone home who is Selabi. God opened a Selah home. Then went to your home, your family home, and went to go and take your siblings. Take your sibling as your baby. Train him as your baby. Through that, God will know that you have a desire of a baby, and God will open your wife home, and you have a twins instant.
For me, wetin I understand for adoption, now when you no get pikin, you go buy pikin. That is adoption. You go buy pikin now. If you no get, you buy. But one thing I have to say about this adoption, if you go to buy pikin, make somebody invest, be taking care of that pikin, like for 4 years. You go dey sponsor am, school, everything. But not when person just come to buy pikin, they go carry that pikin give the person, so they go kill and carry and do money ratio, and I make it come be like say you know good. But adoption is very good though. Maybe if you cannot born, if you no fit born, you adapt one, take care of them as your own pikin. Now my own opinion be that.
Okay. Now this man is making sense, but he's using the wrong word. He's trying to say adopting a child is good, as long as you adopt and take care of that child, invest time, money and energy, love and all of that in taking care of that child. But not that you go and take a child, because I've been told what happens. In fact, the people that told me were even these orphanage home runners. They say some people come to adopt, and that's why sometimes the government agencies and orphanage home runners, they will tell you no, and they will be doing investigation to be like, why are they doing all of this? Because some people actually take these children, and after they've given them certification, they disappear. And then the next thing they tell you, the child died, what happened? They will fake one news. Meanwhile, they've used the child for sacrifice and all that. Yes, it's happening. And yes, it's happening in Nigeria. So while we're condemning the government for not doing their job, we're also condemning people for taking these children in the guise that they want to take care of them, and then they go and do something. So sometimes the government agencies, they can't look at your face and say this one will not do this. So they have to attack you as if you are coming to do the wrong thing, until you prove to them that you cannot hurt that child. So yes, it is happening. So what he's trying to say is that If you want to adopt the child and take care of the child. Don't use the child for something else other than what you intended for. Another thing people do, they adopt, and then when they have their own, they will now remind that child that you are not my child. They turn her into a machine in the house. They turn her into a washing machine, turn her into a dish washing machine, turn her into pressing iron, turn her into everything. That's wrong. And remember, God is watching. But the word he used, buy, that was stabbing my heart. As he was saying, it was stabbing my heart. Buy. And he's not the only one. That's why we went into the streets, to let you know what people think about this term. You think you know everything that is happening until you hear other people's opinion. Then you will understand that, wow, are we still way back there? We are still back. And that's why this program started, so that we can come up. So please, the term is not buy. You are not buying a child. It is not legal to buy a child. It is actually a crime to buy a child. Adoption is the word. Okay? Yes, you may spend some money in it, but how much can you equate to the life of a human being? So no, you can't. You don't have that kind of money to buy a child. No matter how much you spend, you don't have that kind of money to buy a child. Okay? So another point I want to mention, of a few points I want to say, adoption should be legalized. Do it the right way. It should be legalized. Adoption is not only for those, I said that before, that don't have children. If you have children, you can still do it. And for those of you, like I said earlier on, taking care of other people's children, legalize it. And then make arrangements for these children, so that if anything happens tomorrow, they are safe. We're coming back again, but before then, I just want you to know, legally in Nigeria, the procedures for adoption. Okay, just for record purposes. Adoption procedures in Nigeria: number one, that's what they call pre-approval from the state welfare agency. Like I said, know your state welfare agencies and go to them and get a pre-approval from them that you want to adopt. They will tell you what that entails. It will include knowing you one-on-one, getting to know where you work and everything about you. Number two, application to the court. They will send you on the next thing to do, application to the court. Number three, court-directed investigation by state government welfare agencies. Yes, they will have to investigate you to know if you are befitting of a state child. And number three, recommendation by welfare officer. They will even come to your village to get to know you one-on-one. They need to know your father, your compound, where you come from. They will have to do all of that. And it's necessary you do these things so that tomorrow nobody will tell you went the wrong way. Okay? And then, of course, number five, court order. Yes, court orders will give you the permission, first of all, to take the child and foster for 6 months. After the fostering, if you don't want to continue, you can return the child to the court, to the state. But if you want to continue, then of course you continue to the final one, which is the final documentation, which is the proper adoption. After that, you will get your adoption certificate, okay, for your child. So that's the legal way to go about adoption in Nigeria. Like I said, if you need help, let's know how we can help. Okay, we can point you in the right directions. My name again is Zyna Obasi. For those of you who just joined, do not forget that we covered this adoption topic very extensively. We even brought someone from the state government to talk about it. So go back to our previous episodes and watch and listen and understand the things that we said about adoption. Today is the first edition of the Waiting Room with Zyna special edition. Next week, Friday, we are coming back to you by 7 p.m. Yes, we decided to change the time because a lot of people want to sleep by 9 p.m. Okay, so from next week, don't forget, we'll be coming to you same Friday. We'll be coming to you at 7 o'clock Central African time. Don't miss it. Tell everyone to watch. Love you. See you. Bye.